Thank you, sir.
I missed the very beginning. Can you just give us that again? I was over at my car.
I can't remember what I said.
Well, just who you are, your name, and
All right, Petronella Guttromson. If you see me on the ballot, it's not Nellie. I go by Nellie just to make life a little easier. Running for school committee. There's a lot of issues that's at hand. We need to start holding our administrators accountable. We want transparency. We want information when we have questions. Give us all the information you can by law. But yeah, we just want to be able to, have that communication with teachers and administrators without it being vague or a strain. So yeah, that's why I'm running.
Thank you.
All right.
What do you think about the school committee getting more involved, or at least insightful, insofar as a lot of the curriculum that is teaching what, in my opinion, is inappropriate for the early grades and even sixth graders, like that questionnaire that came out asking about their sexual preferences. But the school committee, in my opinion, along with the parents, own the curriculum, not the teachers, per se.
Was they had one presentation to show parents what they were doing. And the curriculum was designed by 4 administrators and a couple of teachers. And when we, the parents that couldn't make it to the presentation, asked them to email us the curriculum, the answer was no. But they don't understand. We need to see it because they tell us it's changed. You need to come to the presentation, which to me is a flag saying this is important. I couldn't go, ask them to email to me, no. So I had to make an appointment, wasting that teacher's time, which could have just emailed it to me, and I had to sit there for an hour long. Every parent that couldn't make it to the presentation had to take up an hour of that teacher's time to sit there to listen to this presentation. Now, there was some language that I thought was a little much for 5th graders. 7th graders, maybe not so much, because at that stage they know a lot. But the problem is okay, teach the kids some of this stuff, but don't ask my child if she has done any of those things. Don't survey my child, because that's invasion of privacy. It's none of your business to ask my child what gender she is, or if she has had any sexual activity, or what our income is in our house. That's the problem, is there's survey after survey. We never see the data or the data and what comes from the surveys. Even our DEI committee, with all the surveys and data collection that we've had, they've asked Ms. Chesser now for a year to provide them with all the information. She has still not provided them for a single thing. So our DEI committee has literally done nothing. Done nothing because our school is not presenting anybody with the information that they've gathered. So my daughter, I've opted her out of all surveys. It's none of their business what goes on in my house. That's why I have a doctor. The doctor asks those questions.
Thank you for your response.
Thank you, sir.
I missed the very beginning. Can you just give us that again? I was over at my car.
I can't remember what I said.
Well, just who you are, your name, and
All right, Petronella Guttromson. If you see me on the ballot, it's not Nellie. I go by Nellie just to make life a little easier. Running for school committee. There's a lot of issues that's at hand. We need to start holding our administrators accountable. We want transparency. We want information when we have questions. Give us all the information you can by law. But yeah, we just want to be able to, have that communication with teachers and administrators without it being vague or a strain. So yeah, that's why I'm running.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, will you hold math teachers accountable for letting students get credit for wrong answers?
I tell you, literally, my daughter is one of the students that struggle with math. And when they came out with this human development and growth course that's for 3 days, I told them, my daughter is struggling with math. Why don't we focus on getting her grade up before the year has passed instead of focusing on this? I agree with you. Why are they doing math? But they're leaving it up to the students to decide how they're going to get to the answer. How do the teachers have time to sit down and mark every single thing? And this is the thing with our curriculum. The problem with the curriculum is right now they're leaving it up to students. Let's say they have a task at hand. They're leaving it up to the student to decide how they're going to do that task. But how are they holding these kids accountable to follow instruction? Because no one is going to hire someone in the job industry one day when they're adults if they can't follow instruction from a boss. Yes, we want them to be able to think outside the box, but first teach them to follow instruction and then teach them to think outside the box. And that's some of the problems is we are not teaching our kids to follow instruction. We're leaving it up to them to just figure it out.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes, ma'am.
Does Big Balls Hurley still work for the diversity group?
Yes, Mr. Hurley does still work for the diversity group. He was one of the administrators that was involved with the Human Growth and Development Program. I actually went to the previous to last DEI meeting, and I think the three last meetings, the committee has actually asked the administrators that he sits in on these meetings so that they can communicate with each other. Otherwise, they're both doing the same thing, and it's an absolute waste of time if they could be working together. So yes, he is still. Right now, our grants are paying for his salary. Next year, those grants fall away, and our school district will be the ones paying for his salary. And I think right now it's $85,000 a year. I think it's going to go up to at least $95,000. So it's going to.
Anybody else for that stuff?
Well, no, not that I know of. They have not discussed it. Apparently, they're happy with what he's been doing. Don't know what he's doing because the same as the committee that they've been asking for Ms. Chesson for all this information over the years, the survey, data collection, all that. He also hasn't received anything.
Wow.
So I don't know what he's been doing. He's literally sitting at a desk. They're supposed to be crunching numbers.
Who are you asking for this information? Who would be the source of that information?
Good question. Because you ask and nobody can answer you. So I actually sat at the DEI committee meeting. There's another one actually this evening. And I was listening to the conversations, and they all said nothing. That they have not received anything from her. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Which is strange because she keeps telling them that they're going to give it. Yeah.
Well, maybe we have to push it a little harder.
Well, that's the other thing. Mr. Cronin is the chair of that committee, yet he doesn't push. And there was a statement that was supposed to be read at the last school committee meeting. Again, he wasn't there, and it was to read to the public that she has not been providing the information. And at the end of the day, Mr. Cronin wasn't there, and nobody read it. So, yeah. So, again, not being held accountable for her actions.
Thank you.
So, I have a question. I'm fairly new to town, but I'm going to piggyback on what she was just talking about. Mm-hmm. What is this council, in your mind, what should that council be about, and what should they be tackling?
So, personally, I think if we're going to do a DEI, do the committee, because it's people from the town. Skip the administrator that we're paying to do the job, and he's literally not doing the job because he's not getting any information from Chesson. Have the committee do it from different organizations and groups in our town and have them discuss it. Because right now, I feel that the committee and the coordinator is just a way to quiet the masses. It's to show that we're doing something about it, but we're not really doing something about it until you're happy, and then everything goes quiet, and then it all passes. It's the same thing over and over again. They do little things to quiet the masses, but nothing happens.
Thank you very much, Nellie. That was good. Again, bullet vote Nellie. One vote only for school committee instead of both. Only do one vote. That way it counts more because the top two will get the positions.